Hi, this is the fifth dimension, and I am doing a general reading for Cancer. Um, Please hit subscribe. I'm just starting out, or hit subscribe. I'm just starting out, and I have very few subscribers, and I would love for this channel to grow. I think I can bring peace and harmony to a lot of people. I bring in people that have passed, so your loved ones or significant others who have passed and live in the heavenly plane. They stand beside you here on earth. Those are the people that I bring through um, for my friends and family so far that I've been doing it. And I want to share this with you, and hopefully, it'll bring you some peace to your grief and your loss, and some happiness too, happy memories, and just to know that who is around you right now, Cancer. So, um, I use a lot of tools and they take a lot of time. I spend about 30 to 40 minutes off camera before I turn it on. I pray and meditate over everything. I ask for Cancer's person to come through, and I shuffle, I draw, and get completely prepared so I don't waste too much of your time. So please subscribe again, and I'm going to get started. Here we go. All right, Cancer. So the loved one who stands beside you here on earth that is coming through is a man. I have some distinct things that will tell you about him, and this should help you confirm that this is the person you think it is. You intuitively do feel like you know who is around you, then that is probably correct. Go with your intuition. Um, this man spent some time in prison when he was younger, and it reshaped his whole life, reshaped the rest of his life. I don't know if he was there rightfully or wrongfully, but he did spend some time in prison. He did get out, and he was able to set out on a new journey. I do, though, feel his journey took him back to his time in prison, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. So he got out of prison, and he kind of had a clean slate. He was on his own, and he set out for a new endeavor. It could have been a new leash on life. It could have been to right the wrong that he felt brought him to prison, or that happened to him in prison, one of the two things. He did do that. He did he either filed a lawsuit or he had to appear back in court as a result of his imprisonment. And it could have just been a probation situation. But I see him not he did not get out and then just never have to deal with it again. He got out and he had to deal with either some rules, some regulations, policies, and procedures that have to do with committing a crime or a probationary period. Okay, so he got through that. He met himself a significant woman. I'm not sure if she was there by his side the whole time he was in prison, or if this is someone that he met later in life. They had a great relationship. They liked music together. That was one of the things that they really enjoyed together. And back to the court case, after he met this significant female, or renewed his love with this significant female, he won his court case. So whatever wrongdoing was done to him, he was successful, and he received a verdict in his favor, period. So that made him feel good, that he felt like he had been highly honored as a result of that win. I have that when he passed, he was pretty substantially abundant. He lived in a very nice home. He dressed very nice. He lived a calmer life. He enjoyed being at home. He enjoyed playing games with people that he was close to. He liked to play chess. But he was all in all, he was doing pretty good. When he passed, he was a good man. But he always kept or harbored or held on to what had happened to him in the past, the imprisonment and the court case and everything. They were always in his thoughts when he passed. So, or before he passed, and I mean, just constantly. He was kind of not obsessed with it, but it just definitely created a side to his personality that wasn't there before all this began, and he held on to that. I did go ahead and pull some letter cards that maybe will help confirm who this man is to you by bringing up some letters. It could be his initials of his first, middle, or last name, or just letters that encompass his name. I have Y, H, U. So I don't know if that will help you confirm his name or something about him that had those letters that you know about. I also prayed and meditated over some number cards to try to give you a month date that he was either born or passed, or a day of any given month that he was born or passed. And so I drew 16, 5, and 2. So this could be February 16, this could be May 16, could be February 5th, or May 2nd. So I hope those numbers helped clarify some things for you. I was going to mention too, and I meant to say this back further, did this imprisonment, was he a highway worker before the imprisonment? It's not something that he went back to after the imprisonment, but before the imprisonment, was he a highway worker? Did he work for like the Department of Transportation in his state, or construction, possibly a big construction company? I get that. But now I think when his life ended, he was more involved in his community, protecting his community. He supported the police and the firefighters, and he felt like they have an important job to do, and he respected that they did. Or he might have joined the reserves or first responders of any given police department or fire department after he got out of prison and after the court case was done. This might have been something he did, not in retirement, but maybe just in an older age. So that embodied his energy then when he passed. Let's see. Okay, I have some other characteristics that I drew for him, and I jotted down some notes. I wouldn't want to try to go from memory and forget anything that we need to say about this wonderful man. And it shows on his cards that he was a very good man. All right. I have that the colors that he wore were kind of on the darker side. He mostly wore browns. He would wear a deep purple once in a while, if it was a special occasion, but that was not his common go-to, but that was his dress-up color, possibly. He also, he liked, he was affected by the sun. He liked sunny days. I mean, we all do, but he really fed off of the weather. So when the sun was out, he was jiving, he was happy-go-lucky, and his day was an easy day no matter what happened. So that's how significant a sunshiny day was for him. I have that he was a really good communicator. I have that he was a really good storyteller, which if he has been through all of the things that I pulled forward for his energy, then he would have quite a few stories to tell. I believe that sometimes he was told that he talked too much, or it was something that he kind of, had been told enough that he learned that maybe he talked too much, but, and plenty of us do, so that's not a flaw, that's just a characteristic. He did not like conflict and confrontation. I mean, he was one of those people that avoided it. He was a harmonizer. He wanted things to be harmonious, and by entertaining conflict or confrontation, it didn't bring him the harmony that he wanted in every facet of his life. He did have trouble saying no and setting boundaries. So he had a soft side. Um, Sounds like someone that you probably could count on if you needed something, especially if he had trouble saying no and he was a good man. So he was probably significant to you in that aspect. Let's see, what else have I got? I had that his favorite season was fall. And let me see if I see any hunting or why fall was his favorite season. I think fall was his favorite season because he liked to wear coats. That might sound crazy, like to wear a robe. If it was cold enough outside that he had to take out the robe and put it over his um, lounge pants and t-shirt or shirts and t-shirt, he felt, he enjoyed that. Enjoyed his, possibly even slippers, but mostly his robe. And then he enjoyed the fall weather because he enjoyed wearing coats, all different coats. That was just kind of his thing, and that should really help you confirm that this is the person that you're thinking of. The last thing I'm going to do is I draw some cards from a deck that I've named on my own as Stairway to Heaven. I feel these messages are directly from the divine, the great white light, as I call him, to me, and then I pass them on to you. So I prayed and meditated over my deck of cards, my Stairway to Heaven cards, and I pulled 3 cards. If he was able to say anything to you at all, what would he say? And these cards are usually so beautiful. He said, I send you loving signs through nature. I send you loving signs through nature. So if you feel like he's sending, if you see a butterfly and it makes you think of him, that is him saying, I'm here, and yes, think of me. I am thinking of you. I am with you right now. Also, I feel this has to do with the court case. He said, I have a new understanding. He wants you to know that he has a new understanding. So maybe how he believed and stood his ground in all of this that went down, he now may have a new understanding of that. And he may see that this was his path. This wasn't something that could be avoided. This was something that the divine intended to happen, and this was part of his path. And that may be what he's trying to tell you. He has a new understanding of. And he says, I am so much better now. And it could be over this subject again, that the court case and the imprisonment brought him such heartache and pain that he's just doing so much better now. He sees things from a different angle, and he is doing great. I want you to remember one thing before I leave you. I send you loving signs through nature. So watch for those butterflies, Cancer, and thank you for spending time with me. This is the 5th dimension. Please hit subscribe, and God bless. I'll see you next week. Bye.